Hi, you are tuning in to AWANI Review with me, Cynthia. On this show, we speak with business leaders, entrepreneurs, and startups. And on this episode today, I'm joined by Vincent. He is the Chief Executive Officer of MyeongDong Topokki. He is also the founder of MyeongDong Topokki in Malaysia. MyeongDong Topokki is a Korean street food restaurant chain. Vincent started his first restaurant, I believe, in 2014 in Klang Valley. And in just 6 years, the brand has expanded to 50 stores nationwide. So Vincent, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you for inviting.
I'm really excited to hear your story. But first, I'm really curious, why Korean food?
Right. Basically, when we wanted to venture into F&B, right, we look at a couple of industry, which is like burger, which is dominated by McDonald's, coffee by this Starbucks, and Taiwan street food is by Shilling. So we look into Korean food. It's totally not dominated by any of the brands. As we know, even internationally, there is no one brand that is having like multiple brand stores for fast casual Korean street food. So we venture into this industry, and from there, we pick up the industry, and we have 50 outlets at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a particular reason why your interest swayed to Korean food?
My interest, basically, I look at from a business point of view. I look at the niche market on it, the segment that is untapped, and I venture into that.
Okay, I want to talk about the business itself and why MyeongDong Topokki, how is it different from other players? Because we know F&B is a cutthroat business.
Yes,
and what sets MyeongDong Topokki apart from your other Korean food competitors in the market?
Right. When we look at the market, right, in the 80s, it's dominated by fast food, which is like McDonald's and KFC. After that, it's casual dining. We came up with a new kind of concept, which is a fast casual concept, where you walk into an outlet and you order yourself and you pick up yourself. And also, we can provide a better quality food compared to fast food. It's more healthier, and it's going to not be prepared from the central kitchen. It's not like pre-cooked and you heat it up and you're going to consume it. It's more of like you cook on the spot and also deliver to the customers fresh and healthy. Yeah, that's our major difference from other Korean restaurants, where they are more traditional based and four walls and not much of interaction.
So as a consumer, I go in, I get to watch the chef cook the food
Yes,
for
correct.
me.
Yeah, yes,
okay.
yeah, right.
So it's really about building that immersive experience when you walk into the store,
Yes,
right?
correct. Yes.
Okay. Tell me about the impact we are seeing from COVID-19, because this is a prolonged pandemic.
Okay.
And how has your business been impacted?
All right. For COVID impact, right, it's definitely very huge, because we plan to open around 80 to 100 MTT Express and MTT food truck, around 10 food trucks to launch around Malaysia. But with that COVID hit, we basically could not launch this MTT Express. Totally, we only have now around 3 outlets at the moment. But we shift our plan, which we plan to do digitalization. We shift to cloud kitchens, apron kits, and also this MTT live show. All right. From there, we gather another type of footfall from the delivery and takeaways, and from there we ride through the wave and we move into digitalization. Yeah.
Can you tell us the impact in terms of footfall to your outlets, and how much of that digitalization, how much has that helped cushion some of the impact you're seeing from the physical stores?
Basically, from the impact of COVID-19, right, the dining is basically dropped, I would say 70 to 80%, some stores to 90%. Basically, you won't be seeing any footfall coming into dining, just like our recent pyramid lockdown, right? Our dining falls around 70 to 80%, but the delivery is increased by around 50 to 60%, and currently it's around 40 to 50%. And that's a very good shift, because it kind of like cushion the impact from dining to deliveries. But in order to move into this delivery, you need to prepare ahead. We prepared this delivery was like 2 years ago when we went to Shenzhen and look around like those brands like Luckin Coffee. How do they enhance on this delivery system on their apps and applications? We tried to bring it to Malaysia, but Malaysia at that point of time is not really well versed in this technology point. Everyone still go out and dine in and enjoy around. But this COVID-19 forced everyone to be digital, and we use our phone more frequent and ordering through the apps and applications. So from there, we are able to shift in a paradigm shift of like around, in few days time, we managed to change totally from a very traditional form of business to digital business.
This was during the lockdown?
During the lockdown.
So you rolled out
Yeah.
your delivery
Yes,
during
correct.
the lockdown.
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
just
Yeah.
how quickly did you had to pivot, right? You said you went into cloud kitchen, and then you also started to introduce the self-cook meal, right?
Yes,
the
correct.
packets,
The
right?
MDT DIY kits. Basically, the DIY kits, right? We look at the United States when they have this blue apron, and it was around 3 years back. We planned to launch it also, but at the point of time, no one wants to cook at home, and millennials are still out taking photos and things like that. But from the lockdown, everyone is like being locked at home already, and they are kind of like emotionally changed, and they kind of like cook at home, order deliveries, takeaways. They are mentally also changed, and that type of changes stays still today. So like once you kind of like change in a 2 weeks time, it becomes your habit already. So everyone is like cooking at home, ordering delivery. We see our delivery spike nearly. Last time when it was 2 years back, our deliveries was around 10 to 20% of our total sales. For now, it's around garnishing around 40-50%, and during lockdown, it's basically 90% to 100%. Yeah.
Right now in Malaysia, the past week we have seen increased number of COVID-19 cases.
Yes, correct.
How are you prepared for any eventualities, right?
We will just,
lockdown or
yeah.
a targeted lockdown.
We will do back what we did best in the couple of months back. We will just do what we did same at the time, which we focus on these apron kits and these cloud kitchens, and also our applications coming out on October. Our applications is very different from the current F&B applications where we only can collect points and things like that. Ours is more of a data analytics. We can gather all the data and we can analyze it, and we can, through the deliveries, we can focus to the sectors where the needs is needed, and we can push it to the areas. Yeah, it's kind of a different type of applications. Yeah.
Let's talk about data, right?
Yeah,
and
alright.
how are you leveraging on technology to really understand what customer wants and to roll it out quickly?
In this era, digitalization era, data analytics is very important because moving towards AI, right, you need data for that. And a lot of companies are not gathering enough data in order to analyze it for them to move into automation, not say AI, which is the last stage. For us to have this type of data analytics, right, we have this application where we can gather every single information. Because now, currently, we are gathering all this information quite manually, and it's from the website, from the WhatsApp business phone, from the emails. Those are still previous old formats of gathering data. But with these new applications, we are able to gather the data, and these apps can analyze the data by itself, and it can make the decision in pushing to the right places. Like example, this area would prefer more spicy food, or this area prefer more sweet drinks, or this area prefer more fried chicken. Because the consumers are different, just like Pyramid are more towards ramyuns, and Putra are more towards dobap, because executive are more towards food, rice, and all this. Kids are more towards ramyuns, meals. So the fundamentals are kind of different, and we need to understand the market very thoroughly in order to cater to them. Yeah.
When are you planning to roll this out again?
October,
So
which is this month.
this month.
Yeah.
Okay, great. That's exciting. So a lot of businesses have their own applications,
Yes,
right?
true.
And you also have these food delivery apps with these major players.
correct.
How are you planning to penetrate into the market and to really raise the brand name of MyeongDong Topokki so that it's on everybody's phone? the app?
Okay. This application, basically, we would push it through the medias and also food medias, and also we'll educate every individual on what is the benefit of using these apps. And of course, we have these promotion vouchers. But most important is we do not just capture the apps of the person using that. Our apps are linked to the POS system, where when they purchase the food, their names are already captured from there. Yeah. So basically, if the individual do not download the application, we still can gather the data of the individual. Yeah. Because in order for us to have everyone downloading that application, is not easy, all right? But everyone walking to the stores and the data collected, that is the one that is very important.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to get a sense of where your focus is in the coming months, right? You mentioned that there were plans to get up to 80 stores nationwide, but with the COVID happening, you really have to focus into digitalization. So where are you right now in the coming months? What can we expect from MyeongDong Topokki?
Basically, we had hit our target. In the coming end of the year, we are hitting 100 outlets because of this venturing into MDT Cafe and MDT Express. Currently, our outlets itself is 50 outlets, and with launching of that, we have 50 another in the pipeline. So 100 outlets is basically secured in the end of the year. And the challenge now is not in Malaysia, but is how do we enter into Thailand and Jabodetabek, which is Jakarta, because of all this logistic happening and all those type of distribution which is facing the issue, a lot of impact on that. So for us to move into this era is kind of difficult for us at the moment. But Malaysia is kind of like taken care of already.
So in that 100 outlets that you're planning, right? You mentioned MyeongDong Topokki Express. So how is that different from your current stores?
It's very different, the Express, because Express we are basically more into tteokbokki, street food, and also like yomok. You heard about yomok before? Yomok is basically like oden. Oden is from Japan, and yomok is from Korea. So we have all these stick oden and fish cakes. We can order from there, and the price range is very low, around like 1 ringgit. So it's going to be fast concept for this Express. Yeah.
Besides going into the online and your express outlets, right?
Okay.
I understand you also have plans to go into FMCG, fast-moving consumer goods.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Okay, we plan to move into FMCG very early already, but because of this COVID, right, it helps to enhance on it, because we always face a shortage of like tteokbokki, and also because we ordered from Korea, we need to wait our supplier to deliver to us. So from there, straight away we tied up with the factories in Korea to build our own tteokbokki, and also our tteokbokki now is going to be packed by our own logo, and we're going to push it to supermarket to sell on it. And also kimchi we pack in our FPC, and we're going to put it in supermarkets and e-commerce also. Yeah.
And when will we expect that in supermarkets?
Supermarkets would be not that early, it will be around next year.
Okay.
Yeah, because this year we are focusing more on these deliveries and cloud kitchen.
Okay, so let's talk about cloud kitchen. That's very interesting, because cloud kitchen essentially is no dine-in. It's self-pickup or purely delivery,
Yes,
correct?
correct.
Okay.
Yes, correct.
What is this plan with online kitchen, and do you plan to build a network of online kitchen?
All right. For this cloud kitchen, right, the fundamentals are very different from outlet stores, because outlets are mostly located in busy streets, shop lots, or in the malls, right? But cloud kitchens, normally you won't be seeing it. It's like on the alley side or in the rural areas where you won't have a lot of footfall, but that sector is covering around the radius of 5 to 10 kilometers, and people can be ordering from the application of MyeongDong Topokki, also from Grab, Foodpanda, and other delivery channels. And also you can walk in to take away if you make a phone call or order through the apps, or this GrabMart and everything. It's a totally different type of concept. Rather than waiting for customer to come, you're pushing to customers to order. Yeah.
Okay. What is the development of your cloud kitchen at the moment? How many do you have, and how many do you expect to have in the end of the year?
All right. Cloud kitchen at the moment, we have 5 cloud kitchens around Malaysia here, and we are partnering with PNS to launch another around 10 to 20 outlets of cloud kitchen, and it will be in the current pipeline also.
What is PNS?
PNS is Pomodolan National, under PNB.
Okay, so right now your business model is the franchise business model.
Yes, correct.
You are in cloud kitchen, you're in the express business,
Okay.
and you're moving into FMCG.
Yes, correct.
There's a lot of things that you're doing. Are you
Yeah.
worried at all that you might be spreading yourself too thin?
Right. Because we planned for all this a couple of years back already, and we always have the team ready for all this. We are not like we want to move into FMCG and now we are planning. We have been planning for around 2-3 years back already, so it won't be a hassle for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to get a sense of where do you see MyeongDong Topokki in a few years' time?
Alright.
Because it seems like you're doing a lot, trying to capture different market segments.
Yes, correct. We plan to see ourselves in the coming 3 years, right? We are looking at the Southeast Asia region. We will dominate the Southeast Asia region and make sure our footfall is strong there before we move into international level. Yeah, that's what we are looking at.
Is there a business model plan or like another company that you're modeling yourself after in the way of your expansion?
We are definitely looking at McDonald's, but in terms of innovation, right, we are looking more towards new companies like Luckin Coffee on their innovation factors, but on the fundamentals, we are looking brands like McDonald's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of innovation, right, I'd like to understand the creative process in you coming up with the menu and really understanding what your consumers want.
Okay.
You know, how do you listen to them closely and think like, okay, this is a new product and I'm going to bring to the market?
Sometimes being too innovative is not right also, because if let's say we being too innovative and launch products which is not what the customer will be understanding about, we won't be gathering the sales because people do not know what is it about. It's like you thought it's going to be working, but it's not. So at times, right, we need to listen to the market, what they really want. What is the things that is on trend now, and what is the things that they can't be getting here. So from there, we understand what they want, and we can change and innovate from there, and we're going to launch it. And basically, one of our star products is a hot dog. Hot dog is a Korean pancake, it's a fast food, and we really sell very well on that. But some product like Buletin chicken, which is a black charcoal chicken, and that's being too innovative, and basically that can't be selling because people do not know what is that also.
Do you think there's enough awareness on Korean food? I know Malaysians, we love our food, but at the same time, because we have so much options available, right? So many restaurants out there. Is it hard to stand out?
Basically, for Korean awareness, we'll be riding on the Hallyu wave, and that is a job done by the Korean government, and they push on all this K-pop thingy. What we're going to do is we're going to do on our fundamentals, where we deliver the best food and also the best channel of distribution. That's our role that we are playing at.
Okay. I would like to get your thoughts about some macro trends, right? What consumer behavior shifts have you noticed in a couple of months because of the pandemic, and that will continue to be important in the F&B industry moving forward?
Okay, customer behavior totally changed from before the lockdown. You can see everyone is like going out and very approachable, and everyone would be like shaking hands and sitting down very closely, talking around intimately. But then when after the lockdown, right, totally the behavior has changed. We are afraid to be close to everyone already. We will have a 1 meter gap distance, and we definitely will put our mask on, and we feel uncomfortable if, let's say, we do not have our mask on, or even dining in some crowded areas. We have all this emotionally impact on us, which is going to carry it to the next generation already. And it's going to stay. This type of items is not going to change already, because it's, even if COVID is going to be cured, there's definitely a second pandemic coming, because the things that we are doing, like global warming and this deforestation, all these are some things that is going to lead to all this pandemic that's going to occur from time to time. So how do we solve this? We got to understand how to cater to the markets. When they cannot come to you, you got to go to them. All right, we got to use digitalization to understand them, to cater to them, to target to them, and distribute to them, rather than sitting down there waiting for them to come and dine in already. It's a totally different concept.
Sounds like you have everything planned out for any kind of situation.
Hope so.
Okay, Vincent, I'd like to talk a bit about yourself, right?
All right.
MyeongDong Topokki is your first F&B business venture,
Yes,
but not
correct.
your first business.
Yes.
You were in banking, you were in trading, I believe you were in real estate for a while. You founded a health and fitness center, but that folded. It did not sustain. But you never give up, do you, right?
When I ventured into business fitness center, I was quite agitated because I have a couple of partners which is not very aggressive. Because when you venture into business, there is no personal time, or like you thinking like, oh, after 6 I need to go back to my home with my kids and wife, everything. No, so it's more of like you keep on working and ensure that you are solving the problems. And the challenge I faced was my partners was like very slacking, and I can't really push, and I don't really wish to push also, because I felt like I'm pushing something and my partners are not doing that. I felt like it's very unfair also. And from there, I learned what type of individuals I should be mixing around with and partnering with and moving towards the next step and everything. That's a very important things that I learned from my mistake and failures.
So selecting the right partner.
Yes, correct.
Share the same
same goals and vision and direction.
Okay, let's talk about the partner right now. You know, how are you guys? You know, the working relationship, and what is the dynamic there? How can we understand?
All right. Basically, because I don't come from a well-off family, so I entering into every businesses, I get free shares. So I got a percentage of free shares from MyeongDong Topokki, and from there I start to buy over from the shareholders, because their vision and mission are very different. They want to have instant money, instant dividend, but from a business point of view, you need to reinvest your money and ensure you are growing your HODs and team of the company. So my plan is to buy over the company and to ensure that the HODs are getting the shares they deserve, so we can go to the next step. Yeah, that's my plan. Yeah.
And I think what's very important, as you grow bigger, is how do you bring your team along with you to share the same vision, right?
Yes, correct.
Is that a challenge that you face at the moment as you scale?
Yes, as we scale, right, of course, there are a couple of individuals who do not have those type of vision and do not want to be that aggressive. They will be like thinking that I will want a 9 to 5 job, I will 9 to 6 job. I don't want to be something which is pushing forward. But there are individuals who are attracted to this, and those are the individuals that will stay with the founder to push the company to the next level. Yeah, those type of
Is it hard to
individuals.
find talent, the right people with the right mindset, this entrepreneurial spirit?
It's not really hard to find. It's the right people will attract the right people, I would say. yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Now I want to talk about some of the lessons that you have learned as an entrepreneur and as
Okay.
a CEO running quite a big workforce. You have about what, 300
Yes,
or
around
300
there.
strong
Yeah.
workforce.
Yes.
What are some of the lessons that you have learned throughout your journey, and how have you implemented them in your current business venture?
Throughout my journey, the challenge that I faced was gathering the right team, because financially we are taken care of already at this point of view. Getting the right team to the right direction and right motivation is very important, because every time people kind of like slack behind and get demotivated, and they won't be self-motivating. But for entrepreneur, we will wake up and we are already motivated already. We know what we want to do. We know what is the next step to do. So keeping the team in line is a very challenging things that I need to do, because as an individual, I cannot perform a lot of things alone. We need a very strong team to push, especially with all this vertical integration. Team is very important. Yeah.
Are you planning to venture out of the F&B business, or are you focused on what you're doing at the moment?
No,
trying to
we
build
will be
this?
focused on the F&B business, because if we're too diversified, I tried to venture into vertical farming and it fell drastically because it's totally different thing. But vertical integration is something which we can be done, because it's still related to F&B and all this Fmcg and cloud kitchens.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Vincent, for sharing your story, and
Thank
I'm
you.
really excited to try MyeongDong Topokki.
Hope
and
you like
secondly,
it.
Yes, I would love to try it.
Yeah.
And I think secondly, hopefully, F&B business has been hard hit by the pandemic,
Yeah.
and looks like you have a lot of things in place, your digitalization plans, and I wish you all the best with your
Thank you.
expansion.
Thank you very
and
much,
growth
Cynthia.
plans. You have been watching AWANI Review with me, Cynthia Ng, and I've been speaking with Vincent Hua. He is the CEO and founder of MyeongDong Topokki. We'll see you again on the next episode. Goodbye.